Call to order the October 11th, 2022 meeting of the North Andover Planning Board. Pursuant to Chapter 107 of the Acts of 2002, this meeting of the North Andover Planning Board will be conducted in person and via remote means in accordance with applicable law. Specific information.
Republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. First on our agenda, we are opening for public comment. Do we have any public comment tonight?
Oh, that's
Hi, Stan.
Stan Limpert, 43 Stone Cleve Road. These remarks might be better at the end of the meeting, but of course, we don't have public comment at the end of the meetings of these meetings, so I have to give it now. I just wanted to say, I know you're going to be speaking about our town manager this evening, and I know you'll, I'm sure, make some remarks about her performance. I just wanted to say that I really appreciate the tone that she's set for both our town and town government since she's been here. I feel like it's a friendlier, more collaborative place since she's been here, and I wanted to thank her for that.
Thank you, Stan. Item number 3 on our agenda is governmental reports, and I'm going to hand it over to our town manager for an update on our electrical aggregation program.
Thank you. So I just wanted to do a quick update on the electric aggregation program, where we've been, where we're going, because there is a little bit, I think, of confusion, because it is confusing. So just as a reminder, in 2016, town meeting voted to adopt the electrical aggregation program, and we went through a Department of Public Utilities oversight that took approximately 3 years, and eventually were able to join the program. So over the years, we have seen times when we've had savings and losses, but in some, since the first quarter of 2021, we've seen $1.2 million in savings. And as you remember, about 3 months ago, we were here because the national grid rate was going to be better than the town rate, and we were urging people to opt out. So we have since signed a new contract, and the town rate will be better starting on November 1st. So we are urging people to please opt back in. And I know that's confusing. It's confusing for us too. And don't hesitate to call my office if you need assistance doing that. We've had so many people call over the last couple of days for us to help them. And so the important thing really to do is to look at your bill and see who your carrier is. So if your carrier is Direct Point, or really anyone other than National Grid, that means that you are already in the program and don't need to do anything. If your carrier is National Grid, that means that you need to call back and opt back in. So in 2021, I think it's important to note that we had 652 members of the North Andover aggregation program that actually fell into a low income category. But the 10,700 were other residential customers, and approximately 1,600 were commercial customers. During our big push about 3 months ago, we had about 1,400 people opt out. So it's those 1,400 people that are going to be the most affected. The reason that's important is that the average single-family home uses 890 kilowatt hours a month. So if you're in the town program and you are an average single-family home, you'll actually save $71 a month. So opting into the program at this point is a big deal. Significant, yes. We also wanted to share, and we shared these today at the Senior Center during the Council on Aging meeting, and we're sharing them again on October 27th at the Senior Center. But there are discounts that are available that I don't think people widely know about. So for National Grid, you can actually receive 32% off of your electric bill if you qualify for SNAP, if you qualify for fuel assistance or low-income home energy assistance, if you're on SSI, if you receive Mass Health or Medicaid, if you live in public housing, or you qualify for WIC. So if you are someone who falls into any of those programs, you should call National Grid directly. Even if your carrier of your energy is someone else, you're still getting your bill through National Grid, and you can be eligible for those discounted rates. Eversource is a similar program, and you can get 25% off if you qualify for those public benefits above, and they also have a household income range for those as well. And so for the state, median household income for one person is $40,951, and for two people is $53,551. I did this presentation this morning for seniors and assumed that most of their households are one or two people. Obviously, it increases as you go higher. One other thing that we wanted to share is that the state has a cold relief brochure, and it has a lot of really great resources in it. Our cold relief person is the Greater Lawrence Community Action Council, right in Lawrence. If you qualify for their cold relief assistance, they also will come out if you're an owner and do a free weatherization program. Laurie has gotten the executive director of the Greater Lawrence Community Action Council to come to the senior center to help people. So that's going to be really helpful, and we're excited about that. Also, just so people know, your gas and electricity cannot be shut off from November 15th to March 15th if you're over 65 or you demonstrate any financial hardship. So all you have to do to prevent that shut off, if you cannot afford your bill, is contact your utility with documentation that either shows, one, that all of your household members are 65, except if you have minor children in the care of the elder. And so that's something we wanted to share with people because I don't think that's widely known, and it is important. The other thing that Laurie and I have been working on is meeting with National Grid, was it later this week, Friday, to talk a little bit about whether or not we could do a program using ARPA funds. So, we were looking for a little bit of direction. The first thing we had kind of thrown out was giving everyone a small credit on their bill. And when we talk about small, if we did $25 per person, it would be about $300,000 total. But when we learned about the number of people who are on the low income range, in that it's the 600 people, we're wondering if we'd be better served by putting forward an application that targeted those people instead rather than town-wide. So we'd be interested in getting your feedback on which direction we should go in.
An application for our ARPA funds, or?
Right, we're going to do an application for our opera funds, and it may or may not pass. It hasn't come before the board yet. It's something Laurie and I have been talking about. Hasn't even gone through our internal committee yet. But originally, we had priced it out at $25 a person for all customers, and that was where we got the $300,000 number, $331. And then when we found out about the 652 that fall in the low income category, we wondered if we were better off targeting that group instead with a larger amount. Or maybe the board's interested in doing that at all. It's something that we've been kind of throwing back and forth, and we were interested in having that conversation with all of you.
Where did the 652 come from? That seems very, very low to me.
Yep, so those are the number of people who have applied under
Okay.
the metrics and been
Okay.
eligible. Now, we could say, we don't want to do the program until January and then push all of these resources out, and maybe more people will be eligible and we'd be able to impact more people, and that would be great. But that's who's currently applied and is getting assistance.
Is there any collaboration with the schools to get the message out about these programs? Like, could we possibly?
Oh, we absolutely can.
Okay.
I wish that we had managed to, I wish we had the foresight to put it in the tax bill. We didn't. So we talked to the senior center today about sending it out in their little mail that they do.
Yeah,
But we could certainly send the
nightly.
information home from schools too. The cold relief brochure is available. It's got all of the resources within it. So it's a great asset.
Yeah, okay.
I think it's interesting that you're saying that maybe if we wait a little bit longer, from what all the people who are in the financial world, they're all talking that things are going to get worse. And let's hope they're very wrong, and I'm sure they hope they're very wrong. So we could give away these funds when we could have a greater need just by waiting a little bit. The other thing, too, is this would be great. We could end up, I doubt it, this is New England, but we could end up having a warmer winter. It just seems to me maybe a little bit of patience. We might find that, you know what, it was worth doing that because people are hurting even more. And there might be more included in that.
So maybe it would make sense for us to wait till midwinter, come back to you, see if more people have signed up for the assets, see where people's bills are.
And can
And
we go
then-
retroactive too? Like, so
I mean,
Not
we're only talking
retroactive,
about
but
a
you know,
small.
Maybe a small
yeah,
amount.
small
It'll
amount
just be a
anyway,
little
so-
relief for 1
yeah.
month, yeah.
Something we give them.
Yeah.
benefit. I mean, I like the idea because,
like the idea.
as we said, ARPA funds, we want them to directly impact residents of the town, and this is another way that we can directly impact people who are in need.
We could work with them on Friday to see how we could push to more people the cold relief brochure, and then wait maybe a month to 6 months and see if more people have now qualified. I think it's probably likely that more people will have qualified. I do think that, we know the rate is going up 60%, whether you're in our program or not. And from what I heard at the senior center today, I think there's a lot of concern about that. And I think one of the seniors called it catastrophic. But I think that if we wait a month or two and let kind of us get through the process, we'll probably have a better idea of what our impact could be.
Is there a way to get the information to the seniors that aren't necessarily at the senior center?
We can do another robocall. I think we probably should anyway, just because we're gonna, the 1,400 people that opted out, we want to get them to opt back in. So we could put it on our website, say, call us, we can mail it out to you in the robocall. I mean, that's the best possible way to get to people is in their mailbox, right?
Right.
We could also do a mailer. I mean, we did it during COVID. We could pay to do the mailer. I want to say the mailer was like $2,500, and we did it for the COVID postcard. These are all things for us to look into, and we can.
Yeah. And again, Dick and I hear it all the time that there's a contingent of seniors that we just keep missing, and those are the ones that are in need. So if we could just make sure that we get the information to them, whether it's the cold relief or get them signed up for those programs, I think that would be important. I mean, the schools are going to hit the kids, and then we just got to make sure we get the senior.
Right?
Yeah, it's easier to get to the and hopefully they read it, right?
I mean, that's right.
I mean, even a postcard, a simple, you've done
These
this
resources
before,
are
a
available.
simple
Yeah.
postcard that goes with the
Yeah.
kids.
We just wanna-
But in the
The
maybe
seniors, yeah,
can
they're
target
just-
by age.
It's just a
Target the postcard
vulnerable
age.
population.
Okay.
We've talked about this before, about, it's all the robocalls. I mean, some people don't even have landlines anymore.
No.
So I don't know how we reach them. We did talk about that. How do we start getting a more complete robocall list?
I mean, our universe is huge.
Well, it's
So,
at least 10,000 households.
It gets loaded up. Let's see if I can get to the people on the list. We load landlines pretty consistently, in any cell phones. So we actually have loaded into our system 14,599 landlines. And then we have people who have just signed up on their own. And so that's cell phones, right? So we have 3,060 additional cell phones that have opted in. So we do have I think we have a pretty good list. Usually we get more complaints about people who don't want to get the robocalls, unfortunately.
Yeah, but if it involves money, they might appreciate it.
Maybe we need to put another message out about how to sign up for these
Yeah.
applications.
Yeah,
Because we
I
have
agree
seen
with
that
that.
recently too, where somebody was
Absolutely.
impacted by the Merrimack College fireworks because they didn't know that they were coming and they weren't part of the whole
Okay.
notification system, so.
So in the next mailer that we do, we can certainly do like a little ad for that. I think that's a great idea. Yeah. Okay. And then if people are interested in signing up, it's right on our website, and it's just how to connect with us. So you can sign up on our website. You can join our Reverse 911. You can also sign up for our news emails, which are a great way to keep up to date on what's going on. You also can sign up to receive any committee's agenda. So lots of good information, but I think we can definitely do, maybe if we do the postcard, we could do like a want to learn more and sign up. Okay. All right. So we will go forward with those kind of metrics and then come back to you maybe in your first meeting in December with kind of a fully vetted plan. That's what I'm hearing. Okay.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Yeah, great use
That's
of money.
helpful.
Oh, I have a question, sorry.
Yeah.
When should people opt in? Like,
Now.
should they?
No.
Now. But was there something about that October reading, or?
You should opt in now because there's readings in the beginning of the October and the end of October, and the timeline to actually get opted in can take longer than just.
Okay. So now.
Yes, we are encouraging people to do it immediately. We've been doing it for people on the phone all day today, so we're encouraging people to do it immediately. And again, call the office, go to the senior center. We're happy to help you. It's super easy. If you don't have an email, we're using my email, and I'm logging them all in case anyone has a problem later. So we're getting them all, which is good.
Great, thank you.
Will we be able to tell if all 1,400 opted back in?
Oh, probably they'll be able to run it, I would say.
Yeah.
Anyone who opted out got 2 postcards instead of 1. So we attempted to reach them twice already. So if you didn't opt out, and you were just in the program, you just got one postcard and they told you about the dates. Poor Brian, I didn't return his text message to ask if we were good. We're good, Brian. Sorry.
You got the card.
Your second postcard, if you got 2 postcards in the mail about the rates, that means you opted out. So usually if you got 2, you should be going, oh, I got to do something right now and log in and opt back in.
Okay.
So we're good.
Okay. Other questions?
I'm opening it right now.
Okay.
See, multitasking, I love that.
I will do it tonight.
That's how easy it is.
It is,
No,
it is.
I don't open it. And it takes that quick.
All right, moving on to our new business. Item A is our town manager evaluation. So I think, we'll give everybody a chance to say a little bit. And yeah, I will open it up. You want to start?
Oh, I get to start.
And then I'll
I guess I would just say that it has been a pleasure working with you, and I think, and I tell everybody that will listen, that how lucky we are to have you and leading us, and you are always there to listen, and even if we have differences of opinions, we talk through it, or residents can talk through it with you, and I think that and your transparency with the process, it kind of is what it is. There's nothing to hide, right? Like and I think that that's one of the biggest things that I've learned from you too, is that as long as we talk about it and we talk about why, it's helpful with the process, and I think that we've got a lot of good things coming, and I really look forward to working with you on those projects and, really impacting our generations to come. I know I say it a lot, but I think that we've got some good stuff that's going to come down the line. So thank you for all your hard work. You're always here. You're always available. And we are really lucky to have you. So thank you.
Thank you. Do you want to go?
Okay, well, yeah, I mean, I'm just reviewing the review that I put in, and it's, it's funny because we got
I
an
did the same
email
thing.
from a resident who also wanted to provide his input, and his input very much mirrored mine, so you're not only recognized by this board, but you're recognized outside of this board too, and people I know were aware that this was coming, and they wanted to, provide their own input, but as I've said to you many times in the past, I think your management style is just amazing, the way you empower the people around you and bring them up, and give them opportunities to shine as well, and make a difference on their own, and that's that's really visible by the staff you put around you, and you always make sure that you hire the best people, and you let them do what you hired them for, and really I think that's amazing. What else? I think, you brought to us a 5-year budgeting plan, and we're able to have a good view of that, and actually, I think at one point we went 20 years out with some of that data, so I think it's great. And what else did I say in here? All right, I talked about that this time. And let's see. Anecdotally, we've heard that people want to come to this town to work with UND and work under your tutelage, or under your just learn about how to run a municipal government. So I think that's an amazing anecdote to hear. What else? I'm just again review my notes. I think your accomplishments are just too numerous to list. I did list Royal Crest, the amazing work you did getting, even though it didn't pass, the developers agreement was just a work of art to get them to that. And then my final statement was rescuing a dog on 114 during a torrential downpour. Well done.
Yeah.
I mean, what more could we ask for? So thank
I might
you.
never live that long.
Thank you for all you do. Well, I did suggest to Chuck that maybe you get the Officer of the Year award, but I don't want to minimize the work that the police officers do. But I mean, I think it was an amazing, feat on your part to take that on. So thank you.
Go ahead.
Just because you had just mentioned that, it's not, it was so important that you did go above and beyond to get that dog, but that's how you do everything. You do go above and beyond. There's no job that is too small or too big that you will take on, and it's, to me, and it was a little fun talking about it, that you're the dog hero of the town, but it was pretty gutsy for you to get out there in the rain and get that dog for some family that was home and frightened. But it just speaks to your character. So just to add on to what Dick just said, you do provide a very warm and welcoming environment for our townspeople, for our staff. And it's just the little things. Even tonight, it's if you're having trouble opting back in, give us a call. We will help you. We will work with you. And I think that, you know, it just speaks to North Andover as well, that we like to be a welcoming town, that we're there to help you. And, you know, sometimes you got to say no because of laws or because of whatever budgets, or that's a great idea, but we need to give it a little more time. We'll work that into the budget shortly. But it's how you say it, and it's very rarely a no if it's a good idea. You always seem to figure out a way to make it happen. And it's a pleasure working with you. And I know I'm not the only one. I mean, everybody says it. I hear it all the time as well. So, but you work hard. You work really hard. And sometimes I'll say to you, okay, you need to take a little break right now.
Yes.
Go. No, people don't know it, but she works very long hours.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't go unnoticed by those of us who are near you and working with you, and your staff also too. They jump right in. They do. They'll just see the need. They'll see the time crunch, whatever, and they all jump in. And that speaks a lot. That it's great leadership. And I probably could go on and on, but just thank you for being here.
Yes, I want to say thank you. I think the numbers do speak for themselves, but more importantly, it's the comments, it's the feeling. Even when you walk into town hall, I talk to employees all of the time, and people are happy. They feel, really well respected and listened to. You are willing to give anything a try and find a way. The thing that I marvel at regularly is how you manage to fit everybody into your schedule. I mean, I don't know how you do it. I said, what other town manager will go to somebody's house to look at, a beaver dam problem in the backyard? Like, that's true dedication, and it really shows how much you value our residents, the employees, and create such a great environment for everybody. So I know I'm echoing what everybody else has said, but it's just, you're an incredibly hard worker. The thing that I really appreciate is sort of the longer term look at things and sort of an idea of where we're going. And again, being really mindful of everybody who lives in this town. It's difficult to meet everybody's needs, and I think you're really good at that. So, let's see. I don't know if I have anything else to add that's new and different, but I can't thank you enough for your hard work day in and day out, for the work of your staff. I know it's truly a team effort, and I know that, but tonight is definitely about you. So I don't want to take away from that, but you are very much appreciated. We are incredibly lucky, and I'm really looking forward to what comes down the road. So thank you.
Thank you all. I always feel humbled when we do these, but I will say I have the best 162 teammates, so I'm very, very lucky. And you're right, they jump in for anything we ask them to do. It's amazing, and so I'm really blessed to be here. So thank you.
Oh, thank you. So on that note, does anybody have more comments, or we can we could go on all night, but
as I was reviewing my notes, I did have more, but I'll save those for next year maybe.
you can read them all too.
There is one thing as well. The thing about our town manager too, she shows up.
Absolutely.
I mean, we have different things going on in town, whether it be something on the Patriotic Observance Committee, she shows up. And that's her own time, and which is very valuable. She has a young family, but she brings the young family, which I love that. That's not always been the way. But you show up, even with your long, busy schedule, you still come down on days off to participate in town events or just go around, say hello to people that are working it or whatever. And again, I'm not saying this like you have to come to all of them. Please don't feel that. There's no more pressure to do what you already are doing. But it is amazing how often you participate in the town events by just being there and going around and saying
It's a
hello.
strong example.
Thanking the committee members, and so along with catching the dog, I mean, I don't know.
Janice will tell you, sometimes I drive to them and then my daughter throws up, like
Yes.
happened on
Sometimes
Sunday.
she shows up at an event and turns around to leave before she even gets out of the car.
That's wearing the mother hat.
That's the mother hat, yeah. Sure
Mom has to win sometimes. So anyway, we're all, incredibly grateful. And on that note, I would love to take a motion.
I will move that the select board accept and sign the annual evaluation of town manager Melissa Murphy Rodriguez.
I'll second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. All those, yes, we are. All those in favor?
Aye.
Great. So thank you. New business item B is to vote on the winter snow emergency regulation. So we're passing it back to you.
Thank you. So one small change. This has been working really well for the last 3 years. We've gotten really good feedback. People are happy that they can again park on main roads when there's not snow. But we had written that anytime school was canceled, we would have it be a snow emergency. And the chief just doesn't think that always works. Because a lot of the time we may cancel school and then actually we may get things cleared out by 10:30, and we want to be able to open the roads up for businesses. So we've removed that section, but the rest of it has remained the same. And it's a great call from the chief.
I think that's a great idea.
And it remains that down in some of the streets where people don't necessarily have driveways, they can park on one side of the
Yes.
road or the other, which is absolutely.
Particularly in the Mill District, because they walk to work, and there are a lot of properties. So this plan has really worked out really well.
It's been great, so, okay, does anybody have questions? Laura does.
I know we went over it last year, and maybe it's worth doing again, bringing the snow removal plan.
Absolutely,
Just so
sure.
that people kind of know what
yeah.
happens and what streets and sidewalk, well, all the streets get cleared, but what sidewalks are cleared by the town.
Absolutely. And
And I know that DPW is spread thin, and we're always, we're talking about how we can help them, but I think it's important that we salt or sand or whatever, the sidewalks around municipal buildings and schools, because they do get icy.
they
But
do.
especially last winter, it was
Last
like,
winter
was weird, it would get
icy
warm.
all winter,
Yeah, it would like
melt
warm up
freeze.
and freeze,
Day
but
in and day out.
People
know
should be
how-
aware that there is a plow shortage. I'm sure if you've driven down the
Yeah.
highway, you see MassDOT looking for plows.
Everybody's
Yeah, and so we've increased our rates to try to compete. And as soon as we did that, Andover put theirs up. So it's like this constant race. But we're anticipating it, like all staffing, to be an issue this year, even more than usual. So we will put that plan back out. We will ask people for their patience. If you can, stay home when it snows. We ask you to. I can't believe we're already talking about snow. I'm going to get a
know.
call from Tim Willett. But I think, we will certainly, we can bring it before your next meeting, so you have
maybe
it.
we can partner with the schools a little bit to make sure that
Yeah.
they're getting the sidewalks
Absolutely.
sanded.
Yeah,
I don't know, I guess I don't know where the line is.
There's
like, who-
always
Yeah.
Do we
always
do
the
it, or
first
do the
few
schools do
storms,
it?
Whose
Yeah.
responsibility
Yeah.
is it, right?
But if
Because
But
that,
if there's a staffing shortage, it's not just the plows, it's the sanders too.
Oh, it's everything
It's
across
everything.
the board, yeah.
And, that's.
And we
the
need CDLs. It's hard to.
So
yeah.
our fingers are crossed that it is a very mild
Fingers
winter.
But either way, we'll get it done. It just might take us a
Yes,
little longer.
but it
than
just
usual.
takes longer, yeah.
But we will, we'll be happy to bring that back, and so we can review it with everyone. That's a great idea. Thank you. So we just need a vote on that.
Any other questions about snow emergency regulations? If not, I will take a motion.
I'll move that the select board approves the winter snow emergency regulations as presented.
I'll second that.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Great, thank you. Item C is the appointments for tonight, so I would like to pass it off to,
Sure, if I
One of
could,
you.
Madam Chair, I'll take this one.
okay.
And Laura, please
Yeah.
fill in any blanks here. So we have 4 people we'd like to bring forward tonight for appointment. We've been interviewing quite a few people, and we'll have future appointments coming up, but for this round, we'd like to appoint Tally Abernathy. It's really kind of a reappointment as an associate member of the Council on Aging. It's a reappointment because Tally had resigned her role on that board because she thought she was moving out of town, which was the right thing to do. But then she did not end up moving out of town, so we were going to put her. We would like to reappoint her. She brings a tremendous energy to that board and has, conducts many classes there for the seniors and others as well. And then John Dupuy and Katie Graham, we'd like to bring them forward for Youth and Recreation Council. And then Patrick Canagra for the Cultural Council. And I'd like to add the final one would be to nominate Laura Bates for chair of the Kittredge School Building Committee. So we can either take those all individually or as a package, however the board wants to proceed.
And I'll just remind you, the MSBA does require the board to actually appoint the chair, which I know is unusual for us, because usually it's the election of the committee, but it's a requirement from the MSBA.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So if there is no conversation and everybody's comfortable taking them all together, we can do that?
Yes.
Yes. So on that note, I will take a motion.
But, I'm not going to nominate myself, so I'll do the first 4. I'll move that the select board appoint Tally Abernathy as an associate member of the Council on Aging for a term ending June 30th, 2025. John Dupuy as a member of the Youth and Recreation Council for a term ending June 30th, 2024. Katie Graham as a member of the Youth and Rec Council for a term ending June 30th, 2025. And Patrick Canagria? As a member of the Cultural Council for a term ending June 30th, 2025.
I'll second those motions.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And I would like to nominate Laura Bates to be chair of the Kittredge School Building Committee. And I don't know, do we need to put a term ending on that? It's for the life of the
Life of
committee,
the
right?
committee.
For the life of the committee.
Okay.
Forever.
She's like, never mind. That's great. Okay, then I'll take a motion. for that.
So moved.
Okay, and I'll take a second.
I'll second that.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye. Thank you to everybody who is volunteering for us, and actually a big thank you to our volunteer committee, our appointment committee, because you guys have been incredibly busy, so I appreciate it.
And many more coming up. We've got quite a few applications that came in over the last couple of days, as we announced for the 400 Great Pond Road Committee, as well as
been busy.
others.
Wealth of knowledge on those applications. It's amazing.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's really fun to see what community members come forward,
There's
so
Great
really
people.
skilled
definitely.
community members on that are looking to serve on that committee.
Okay, moving on to our consent items, of which there are none. And now to the approval of the minutes from the open session of October 3rd. Is everybody able to look at those? No changes? I know.
And I didn't pick up my package tonight, so no, I have not had a chance to look at those.
You want to move them on to the next meeting?
I would appreciate that.
Okay,
We can do that because
That's
it's pretty lengthy, actually.
Yeah.
okay. So we will move that to the next meeting and head on to old business, of which there is none listed. And now to the town manager's report.
Thank you. I just have 2 quick things. So Chris O'Connor has accepted the town's offer to be our new town council, which is very exciting. So she'll be starting on November 15th. So soon
That's
enough. It's great. And then the second announcement is just that Chief Gray has sent me a memo, and Halloween will be on Halloween from 5:30 to 7:30. that actually lines up with all of our surrounding communities except Haverhill. Haverhill does it on the weekend. But the chief advice would be to line up the exact times, everyone else, so that we don't get overflow from other communities back and forth. So it will be Halloween from 5:30 to 7:30, and I know there's been residents calling and asking, so we'll make sure we get that out too.
At least we can publicize it.
Yes. Thank you.
It's the favorite question. So that's great, thank you. How about selectmen updates? Anybody?
I can't think of anything right now. Oh, other than the wreaths. For those who don't know, please, just please send in your requests. We are starting to get them. It's a little different this year because it didn't, just with the turnover of the new mailer, it didn't get out like most people have been receiving for several years. But we are getting some, so I would strongly encourage that you get it in. I did hear that a couple people asked that it would be all done online, and I'd like to explain that my position on that. It sounds great, except in order to be fair, there are a lot of people who don't work online, especially some of our older citizens who've been participating in the program. So if it's done by mail, it kind of levels the playing field. So, maybe at some point we could do that, but I think considering a little bit of the confusion of it not being in the flyer, which was just, it was just circumstances. We changed over our vendor and a few other things, and the people who write it, it just kind of fell by the wayside a little bit. But we're catching up pretty quick. So please do get them in, because believe it or not, we need to have all this information in by like the second week in November done. And often we're sold out by then. So please just get them in. And if you have any questions, just give me a call or an email. I am in the phone book, but do leave a message. That's the landline. And we'll help you out or take care of it or whatever. So, yeah.
I would add a big thank you to the North Andover Fire Department for a really fun open house over the weekend. I stopped by with Laura. I couldn't convince my teenagers to come, so I grabbed her kids. And it was a lot of fun.
I think they wanted to leave.
No, they did not. So they had all kinds of things set up, and it was just it was a beautiful day weather-wise, and people were coming and going all morning, and it was truly a great community event. So we really appreciate them.
And I went as well. I didn't bring my child, but I did bring my husband. But no, they did a great job, and a lot of happy people, a lot of volunteers. And I won't say who, but we did have 2 members of Town Hall that suited up in full fire gear. There were a few pictures because I saw it, but they were just being great sports. Yeah, they did a great job. They were all very welcoming, and it's no surprise there.
No, it was
They
great.
do such a wonderful job they're supporting breast cancer awareness and the Reliefs Fund, selling T-shirts, and so just another way that they support the community.
Any other updates? Okay. Great. So with no other updates, I will let you know that our next meeting is Monday, October 24th at 7 p.m. And I will take a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Great, thank you. Yes.